Cullo, you've always got a few minutes for us and we appreciate it.
A
great match that this afternoon. What was your take on it?
Yeah, great cup game really. Bit of quality at times, but then some of our goal was a great goal, so there was flashes of brilliance and just blood and thunder, everything you want from a cup tie basically, tackles, you name it, it was in the game really.
Great advert for non-league football. And would you say on the balance of play, do you think we just about deserved it?
Yeah, I think so. I think second half, I think we controlled it after they scored, and I think we created the better chances. I don't think Chris Martin's had too much to do in the second half. But credit to Newcastle, they've come here and they've given it a right go. They took the lead, and got themselves back into the game at 2 each. So credit to them. Ex-players, it was always going to be like that really, with a number of players, ex-players they got in the team. But I think overall we've created the better chances and we were probably the better side.
It certainly was blood and thunder, and there's a number of yellow cards. I mean, I lost count in the end. There must have been 6 or 7 at least. Do you think the ref handled it well?
Yeah, it's a cup game. It's a cup game and it's a local derby, so you expect tackles, you expect things like that to be going on. And I think he's handled it relatively well. I think he's had a lot to contend with really, but all in all, I think he's done okay. Yeah.
One incident that I'm sure they will refer to, Jordan Johnson. There seemed to be an altercation near the touchline, and he's possibly off the ball, had a little flick at the player. What was your take on that incident?
He's lucky to stay on the field. He's lucky. He's definitely flicked out at him. Jordan's apologised to the players after the game, but he's lucky to stay on really, and that could have been really costly. So we've got away with one a bit there really, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he hadn't produced a red card.
Very honest answer there. Yeah. Finally, I was going to ask, obviously the importance of the FA Cup and financially the rewards for a club like this. Do you feel any extra pressure because someone was telling me it's a couple of grand just for winning today, or I don't know the exact figures, but you see where I'm coming from. There's finance involved here. Yeah. Do they feel any extra pressure at all?
No, I don't think they feel any extra pressure, but there's a buzz about it. It's the FA Cup. It's got that magic, and I think it's while some people have said it may have been lost at the higher end of the game, I certainly don't think it has been at lower league levels, and I think it's just got that added significance to it really. And you just feel differently. You get a bit more of a buzz because it's the FA Cup.
Completely agree.
That'll continue, to be honest. So I don't think it's the extra pressure of the money. I think you just get an extra buzz because it's the FA Cup, and the fact that it's a local derby, adds a bit more spice to it.
Cullo, once again, thanks very much for giving us a couple of minutes.
No problem.
Go and enjoy your pint.
No problem.
Scott, I appreciate you giving me a couple of minutes. It's always harder to ask someone after you've lost. What are your reflection on the game this afternoon?
It was typical local derby. I don't think it mattered whether it was the FA Cup or the league. I think it was some good tackles flying in and about, and just like I say, like a local derby.
There was obviously an incident in the second half. I've spoke to Cullo involving Jordy Johnson. Looked like we got away with one there. What's your view on that?
Obviously we're being probably closer than your bench, and they were blowing out of the chicks a couple of times. Your lads were on the bench because it just kicked out at him, and sometimes the linesman, I think he said that he told the ref that he tripped him, but I don't think you can trip somebody when the ball's already gone out to play. So he probably got away with one, but that's football, isn't it?
So obviously no complaints, or at least it sounds like you've got no complaints. In terms of your own performance from Newcastle, how do you assess that? Were you happy with the way the lads played?
No, that's where I've got my complaints.
Right, okay.
From the last 2 games and from today, whether it being a local derby, I don't know, we just didn't perform as well as we have done in the last 2 games, so that was a little bit disappointing, but like I say, they're a new group, so we'll get back into them this week. We've got a week off now, so we'll see what happens.
And finally, you have started the season well, a couple of good results. Do you set targets at all? What's a good season for Newcastle? I guess playoffs, promotion is the obvious.
Well, everybody sets off for playoffs and promotion, but not with us this year. I think just nice mid-table, and then obviously develop the lads, develop the youth coming through, and then have a look at pushing on for playoffs in a couple of years, I think.
Scott, appreciate you giving me a couple of minutes. Thanks very much for speaking to us.
No problem.
Thank you. Dundas, thanks for giving me a couple of minutes. Assistant manager, how are you enjoying that role?
I'm loving it, to be honest. It's bit different. I'm used to being the player, but yeah, really enjoying it. Feel really lucky to get a chance to do it. So yeah, enjoying it. So far, so good.
So far, so good, and we've started well. Your thoughts on today's game? A 3-2 Blood and Thunder Cup tie?
Yeah, it was, proper derby game. Really good game to watch. Not so good for the managers. Bit of heart racing, but I thought we dug in and showed. All 3 games so far, we've showed real character, particularly for a team that's had a lot of new faces coming in. Been really pleased at how we've gone behind in all games, which is something we need to address. But in all games, we've come back strong. So that bodes well for the future, and it gives us something to work from.
There was an incident in the second half. Jordan Johnson, I think, I'll give my opinion. I thought he was a bit lucky to stay on the pitch. What were your thoughts, and how did you view that incident?
Yeah, I agree with you, to be honest. I think he was lucky to stay on. It was stupid from Jordan, and he's the first one to hold his hands up in the change room after he knows he's done wrong, and it's so out of character if you know Jordan. I haven't seen him go around kicking too many people, if you can call it a kick. But yeah, I mean, he knows he's done wrong. He knows he's done wrong, and we had a word with him after, and I can't see that happening much from Jordan, to be honest. So he got away with that one, though, yeah.
And overall, we've a draw at Lincoln, a win on Tuesday night, a win this afternoon. I guess you and Anne, you've got to be happy.
Yeah, we're really happy. Good start. Things we need to work on. We've conceded 5 goals in 3 games, which obviously we need to address. But then again, we've scored 7 goals and we've come away with 2 wins and a draw. So, like I say, it's early days for this team. But the early signs are good. We need to be more consistent. We seem to do well in periods of games and then go a bit scrappy and a bit sloppy. So that's something we're looking at addressing. But
no complaints.
Couldn't ask for a better start, really. 2 wins and a draw. Yeah, we're happy with that.
Donners, you're a top man. Thanks so much for giving me a couple of minutes. All the best.
No worries. Cheers. Thank you.